Hello everyone, I am Basavaraj Jawali. I have secured rank 664 in UPSC 2025. Uh, Today, me along with my friend will be discussing strategy.
Hello everyone, good evening. I am Basavaraj Patil. I have secured All India rank 739 in this year's civil service examination. Today we are here to discuss the strategy of 60 days for the prelims. Let's start.
So, why do you need strategy in the first place itself? So, why 60 days strategy? What is the importance of it?
First we have to answer your question.
I'll just write why.
Yes.
Why is this strategy needed?
Because as we have seen, prelims is the first hurdle. We will consider it as a hurdle because many of the students will find it difficult to pass the prelims. So I will state it as a hurdle.
Yes, we can see that in the numbers also.
Almost
8 lakh people will write,
yes,
and only 13 to 15,000 people will make it to the prelims.
Yes. So yes, the prelims has been a major filtering stage for all of us. So that's why strategy is very much needed. And another thing is when we look at the cutoff, except for 2023, it was around 75, I guess. After this, the cutoff has been also been increasing. Last year it was around 87, I guess. This year it was around 93.6 something in 20.
So it is increasing, I think.
It is very much increasing.
Increasing like this.
Yes. For this, to clear the prelims and right mains, we need to clear this cutoff, and it is becoming very difficult to clear this cutoff. So that is why it is very much important to have the strategy. And another thing which I can add is year-on-year changes. Year-on-year changes. When we see the questions of 2019 or maybe 2020 also, we have seen many direct questions. We could easily eliminate one or two options and we could arrive at the solution. But when we see the questions post 2022 or 2023, 2023 was a major, it had major changes in the question types. It's like we are having only types of questions. It's very much becoming difficult to eliminate the questions. That is why it's very much important to have the strategy.
I still remember 2023. When I saw these questions, what kind of questions are these? How to tackle them?
Yes.
Whether we should mark them or not. In fact, by marking more number of only questions, I got reduced with less number of marks. So that's why every year we are seeing that new type of questions are coming into UPSC. So that's why it is.
That's very much true. And also to arrive at an answer in such questions, it is becoming very much difficult. Because we will know two options, right? Which two options we don't know. That is why it's very much difficult. That is why strategy is needed.
Yes.
And also, as we discussed in cutoff, the cutoff is also becoming very much high. So, considering all these factors, we need a strategy to clear it.
So, we are just telling strategy. So, what are the main pillars of this strategy? What do we need to consider while making this strategy? So, we have strategy. So, tell me a few important things which need to be considered.
When we come to strategy, there are two important things as we have been practicing those things. One is days. Second one is hours. At this point of time, we have 60 days. Our strategy should consist the time management and subject management of these 60 days. Like how we divide subjects and everything. Hours, how we manage our day, means within a day. How we manage, how much time we give to each subject. Do we keep CSAT for the later part of the preparation? Do we have to cover current affairs parallelly, or we have to keep it for later? Do we have to study compilation, or do we have to study monthly magazine and everything? There are many questions, and there are few questions where how we have to allow the time for everything. There will be questions like we are not getting time to solve PYQs, solve test series, and we also have to do map practicing. We have to do CSAT. we also have to do all these core subjects and everything.
Yes.
There are many questions regarding this. So that is why we have to manage, we have to have a strategy for days as well as hours. And another thing is, I consider there are three pillars for the strategy, or when we go forward for this thing. The first one is revision.
In fact, this is the reason we are taking a strategy.
Yes.
Revision is very, very important.
And the second thing is practice. Third thing is analysis. For these, let's discuss all these things. Revision is, many of us, many of the first attempt going students have been reading the prelims for months. Some might have
years
8
also.
months, years. Coaching going students have been reading from past years. Few of us means who have continuously cleared prelims, they might have been studying for 3 or 2 months. So
Yes.
considering all those things, the students who have studied for 1 year, they might have forgotten everything, especially for subjects like history.
Yes, history is very volatile. For me,
Even-
though, I have to read every day.
Even though if we study yesterday, we will forget in next week.
Yes. Yes.
So for all those things, revision is very much important. It helps to recall things. Recall the forgotten things. Revision helps to keep those things in our mind. Second thing is practice. After revision, by revision you will get a knowledge, but where we have to put, how we have to put. For that we have to do practice. Practice through test series, through PYQs,
PYQs.
and also peer discussion as we did in our preparation. So after this analysis, we have knowledge, we have applied it, but did we apply it correctly? Did we apply it wrongly? All this comes from analysis, from test series analysis or peer discussions and everything. So all these three things should be in the strategy, and how we go forward in these 60 days. So that is the main thing. But how do we divide those 60 days?
Yes. So coming to dividing 60 days, how do we divide 60 days? So we have to plan for 60 days, and what we have done is we have created 3 cycle revision. 3 cycles. 3 cycles, that is, first one is 30 days, 20 days and 10 days. So this is the 3 cycles we are going to revise thrice in these 60 days. This is definitely you can change the number of days to little bit here and there according to your convenience. Yes, yes. See, for me it is 30, 20, 10. For a beginner it will be different because he will be reading more. For a repeater it will be different. Here they might spend a less number of days. So it will be flexible. So let's take a first cycle. First cycle, that is for a 30-day cycle. What we have to do in 30-day cycle? This is a very elaborate revision cycle. So in elaborate revision, what I meant to say is, you will take the subjects, all the major subjects like history, polity, environment, economy. You will take a subject. You will spend at least 3 to 4 days on a subject, because here you will be reading lot of things. You will be reading firstly your notes or any standard books which you have referred. So I have referred Lakshmikant for polity and Spectrum for modern history. So we will be reading these notes or standard books thoroughly. We will be reading them thoroughly because this is the first revision we are doing. We don't want to miss out anything. After that, what we will do? We will go to PYQs. Immediately we will go to PYQs. What PYQ tells us is to what extent the question is being asked on a topic, or what is the depth of that topic we need to read in the subjects. Because we have already read everything, we will know the priority areas, because sometimes there will be questions from non-priority areas. That's why I have said you need to read everything in the first cycle. So you will get to know priority areas and also how the trend is going on in the UPSC CSC. And next thing is Next thing what I want to do along with these two things is to do current affairs along with the subject itself. Let's say you are reading science and tech. So take current affairs of your own choice. It might be from any institute. So take any one source and do along with the subject itself. So what you have allocated 3 to 4 days for a subject. So in that 3 to 4 days, we have to read basic source and also we have to read PYQs. And third thing we have to read is current affairs. Because whenever you are reading current affairs and statics simultaneously, you will be observing more. You can correlate both of them. So that's why I want you to read current affairs. And lastly, after doing all these things, let's say in 3 days you will finish the static, current affairs and everything. What you will do is in the last days you will take tests which you have joined or take tests from any institute. Do the tests on the particular subject itself. Do the tests and then analyze them thoroughly. And you have already read PYQs. Try to relate PYQs with the tests. So if you are making any mistakes in the PYQ related themes, just briefly go and revise those topics. This will be your first cycle with respect to any subjects.
I will like to add this current affairs. As you said, it's important to have that current affairs parallelly. You can, as we have seen during Russia-Ukraine war also in 2023, I guess. There was a question on Ukraine's border. We by hearted, but we didn't. We got confused. But how I solved was I was reading newspaper daily that time. And there are the border countries I used to get those names in the newspaper every day or every other day. That helped me very much. And this year also there is a war undergoing where Strait of Hormuz is regularly in news. Rather than studying about it in the compilation or last day, we can when we study newspaper daily, it will be very much helpful to recall the accumulated knowledge over the weeks or months. It will be very much helpful.
And one more thing is whenever we are reading newspapers, try to relate them to the static subject. Whenever we are reading about the governor, what's happening, what's governor doing, try to relate it to any article of the constitution. It might be very helpful for us because questions come in that way only. So what's happening and that static question might come. If anything is happening in governor static question. Such things will come. Definitely, as you said, newspaper we can definitely keep on track and also answers will come very easily.
There will be another question in the mind of aspirant. Like how long they will have to continue newspapers? Is it like last day of the prelims or what would you suggest?
My suggestion is try to read newspaper 15 days prior to the prelims because prelims paper will be set in the last month and also they will be printed 15 days prior. I suggest you to read 15 days prior newspaper to continue. But also you can continue the daily newspaper because your news will always be repeated in the newspaper. So just have a glance if you are comfortable. Otherwise 15 days is the timeline you have to follow.
Even if it's for 10 minutes also,
yes,
it's better to have a newspaper.
It's better to have glance in newspaper every day, even for with or without exam. That's what I suggest is. So this is the first phase. In first phase we will be doing elaborate reading, doing PYQs, doing current affairs, newspaper, tests. So we will be spending 3 to 4 days per subject. So what second cycle? If you go to second cycle, which is of 20 days, here what my suggestion is bring that knowledge and try to apply it to the exams. This is very important. As per me, we all have sufficient knowledge. How to put it into the exams? Apply to the questions. So there is a huge gap here. This gap should be bridged here. We have knowledge, we have to apply it to the questions. So second 20 days is all about practicing. How we will practice? That is the question. Rises. So how we will practice? Practice. Like I said, allot in 20 days, allot 2 to 3 days per subject. Again, same thing. So you will be doing tests of different institutes. You will be doing tests. You will be doing PYQs. things you will be doing, right? Here we will be focusing more on analysis. Analysis what gives us strength and weakness. So we will be doing tests, we will be finding out our strength and our weaknesses. So definitely we have to cover weaknesses. Whenever we find a weakness, we should go to our notes or the material which is given in the test. We should try to fill the gap between them. So in that way we can improve our knowledge into application. And also in this phase, what I suggest is do reverse engineering for the PYQs. So reverse engineering, what is it? Right? We all have done it and we have done it. So what UPSC does is, UPSC tries to repeat the themes every year. For example, we have a theme on constitution.
There will be a question like constitution is a limited government of question.
Limited government. This question is directly repeated, I think. Directly repeated twice. Exactly, without any changes. So in reverse engineering, what you will be doing, you take a question, read the question, understand it, what they are asking, why they have asked it in that particular year. Is there any current affairs related? And how can I approach this? Whether I have to read current affairs, whether it is from static. So this is reverse engineering. Next thing is, we will have 4 options. 4 options, 1, 2, 3, 4. Any one of them will be right and other 3 will be wrong definitely. So what we have to do is, take other 3, suppose this is right, take other 3 and do a small research on them. I will give you an example. Any question regarding rivers, all river name 1, 2, 3, 4 is there. So this is Bhima river. So this is let's say Kaveri, Krishna, and this is Yamuna. You see the context of this question. What type of question it is? Whether it is river, if they are asking river length, or they are asking through which state this river is passing, or they are asking what is the type of river it is. So many questions will come from a river. You find out the same context for 1, 2, 3, other 3 rivers. So that is a reverse engineering. Similarly for the history, yes, there will be king names 1, 2, 3, 4 king. So read about other kings also because they are important for the next upcoming exams. This is what the reverse engineering is. And next thing is, try to solve as many as PYQs. As many as PYQs. Because this exam is all about PYQs. So where will I find this all PYQs, right? So we have CSE exam, we have CDS exam, we have CAPF exam, we have NDA exam.
All these are conducted by UPSC.
Yes, all these are conducted by UPSC and definitely they will have the same mindset as CSE. We are trying to write CSE, but these all exams have the same mindset because the paper setter will be same or a similar background. That's why I think I want you to go and do questions from these exams also. That will give you an extra edge. Yes, and that is better than the many institutions questions because these are set by the examiner himself.
That, as you said earlier, that only type of questions had appeared earlier in these type of examinations.
Yes, as my friend said, in 2023, what happened is in CDS they had asked similar kind of questions, like only kind of questions earlier than the CSE. So we can get some patterns out of these questions, how they are asking questions, what they are asking. That is why the second phase is all about application of your knowledge. And if you think there is some lack of knowledge, try to revise in between, take some time and revise the static subject or a current affairs which you think you are lagging. So this is all about second stage. And the one last stage, and the last stage is third cycle. This is all about 10 days prior to your exam. So there will be, I know there will be huge pressure. There will be like lot of things happening in our mind. What to read? Yeah, this is left, that is left. What can I do?
Many new
Ah.
attractive sources
Yes,
coming.
and and definitely YouTube.
Marathon sessions
Coming and current affairs session. Many things will come. So this is a very panic situation kind of thing happen. So what I want you to do is take 10 days calmly and do your own strategy. In this strategy, what it should include is some short notes. Already I think you have made, but still, if you have not made, try to make some. Short notes may include several maps. A map including only rivers, a map including wildlife sanctuaries. And next thing is chronology. If you take history, some chronology, some king names, and also some works, literature. All the small things, make a short notes out of it and keep it for the final week. Because final week you will be just glancing over it, not reading that. Just glance over it. Just you will be turning the pages here and there, and that will give some sort of completeness, not remember it. And also try to read things which you tend to forget very easily, because all the facts, all these factual things should be on your fingertips on the morning of the exam, because some questions are like that only. If you see the question, you know the answer, it will be solved just within 5 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds. You will save a lot of time by remembering such factual things. So that's why this is all about reading short notes. Keep yourself calm and try to do 2 to 3 tests maximum, not more than that, because you need to have that exam kind of mindset. If you leave that doing tests 10 days prior to the exam, on the D-day, you might slow down. It's not about the knowledge, you might slow down in the beginning. That will consume a lot.
It's better to solve UPSC PYQs test series.
Yes. It's better to take complete UPSC paper. You take 2021 paper and solve it from question number 1 to 100. That gives a 2 hours strategy making time kind of a thing on the third cycle. This is 10 days prior to that. And we have discussed it 60 days. Right. So how do we divide our day? Right? We said, like you said, how do you divide your day? I am assuming that all of us will be reading 12 to 13 hours. Yeah, definitely we have to put this many hours, because this is the final leg of the exam. We have to put lot of efforts to clear the prelims. So I am just assuming, even though if you read 8 to 10 hours also, it's fine.
Depends upon the efficiency.
Depends upon the efficiency, and also someday it might go to 13, 15, someday it might go to 6, 7. So I just tell you that keep consistency, that is 10 hours per day. Average, on an average basis. So how do I divide a day? Give 6 hours for your static subject, which you are doing. Static or the subject. If I am doing polity today, let's not say static, let's say our subject, which you are doing on that day. 6 hours for the subject. If you are reading environment, read environment text 6 hours on that day, and also read 2 hours current affairs. I am strictly telling that keep only one source of current affairs, because there are thousands of current affairs coming in the market. So you cannot complete the current affairs. It will never ending. Sometimes we have seen that nothing comes from the current affairs itself.
There will be a summary of current affairs. For that also there will be a summary.
Many institutes are doing that. Yes. So just keep it crisp. Go for the 2 hours, and also 2 hours for the PYQ. PYQ or any mapping
Test series
tests. So depending on, this is just solving questions. 2 hours for solving questions, and one more 2 hours. This is main 2 hours. I am giving less time, but you can give more time by taking out half of an hour here. At least 2 hours for the CSAT. So CSAT is very important. Many people they fail to qualify because of CSAT. That's why CSAT is for all the 60 days. There is no compromise on CSAT itself.
Even though if we are perfect in CSAT, we
Ah.
have to give.
Yes, we have to practice. Don't take overconfidence, and also keep that in mind. Uh, None of the institute's question paper will match UPSC standards. They can never match. Even if you are getting 100 marks in your this institute's questions, don't try to loosen your mind, because many a times we see that UPSC goes to the next level.
Only practicing is a key here.
Yes, just practicing is the key here. So keep your timetable little bit flexible. Don't make it very rigid, right?
It's like there will be doubt that I might some might get bored for continuously studying 6 hours. We can do it 3 plus 3 hours.
Yes.
3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the
Yes,
evening,
yes.
so that we can diversify the schedule, and we'll have that entertainment.
Yes. For that, what I used to do is do session wise. Like I used to have morning 7 to 9 one session, and after that I will go to breakfast and freshen up, and 10 to 12 and half an hour break, again 1 hour session, and again 2 hour session after lunch, and I will go for the tea and 2 hour. So that I will be having 2 hour session in a day, like 6 sessions. Sufficient breaks. Take sufficient breaks, because we are humans. We cannot read continuously for 12 hours. So breaks is the key, as per your convenience, definitely. And don't worry if you miss a day or so, because you can always cover up by giving more time in the upcoming days. And this is all about UPSC's prelims is all about mind games. Yes, right?
There are many do's and don'ts,
Yes,
which
yes.
I would like to focus on.
Yes. Many. I would like to add. Many people will focus on only minute things, which will waste their time. That's why we need to have some lines or boundary lines, which will guide us to the.
Have a boundary lines.
Yes.
We can use those in the form of
Do's. Yes.
do's and don'ts. First, coming for the do's. First thing is understanding the topic. As because reading the topic is different, understanding the topic is different. Because we read, when we read what is there in the book. But understanding is beyond the book. Like for example, there might be a question, or there might be a statement about inflation.
Yes. Every year we get a question about inflation.
In book or in any notes, we might think that inflation affects the GDP or any other macroeconomic factor. We will study only this thing. Let's take GDP only. Inflation affects the GDP. We will study that. We might by heart, or we might just think it as a fact. But sometimes that won't work, because inflation is that one thing which is interrelated with many things, like trade scenarios, the wars, external scenarios,
Yes.
external scenes, many things. So when we understand the inflation with respect to all these things, rather than going only by the statement, we will get to know the core of it, and we can solve many questions related to inflation. We have also done in the many PYQs also.
Yes.
So that is the one thing. Another thing is after understanding everything, and the second thing is preparing mind for the tours.
What is this preparing mind?
Preparing mind. As we have seen, reading for this exam and preparing for this exam is two different things. We can read, we can gain knowledge. Read and we will gain knowledge. But to apply that knowledge into the test series, the final exam, it's very much difficult. Preparing mind for that 2 hours.
Yes, we will have a lot of pressure on
Too
that.
much pressure.
Performance pressure. We have to solve this. We have to solve this correctly.
We can
That
easily
is-
sit in a hall and solve test series. In library we will solve, we will get 100 plus and everything. But in that 2 hour time, there will be a lot of pressure, because there will be only one chance. In test series, if we score less in this test, we can score more in next test. But
Yes,
here
yes.
it is a D-day, as it is famously called as D-day. It's very much important to have that prepare for these 2 hours,
Yes.
because one thing is pressure, one thing is difficulty of the exam, uncertainty of the exam, attempt, especially attempts. If we mess up in these 2 hours, one attempt will be gone.
Yes.
That's why we have to prepare for these 2 hours. How we have to prepare? One is we can practice intense practice. What we can say is rather than solving question papers for 2 years in test series, you can solve it in 1 hour 50 minutes.
Yes, many a times what happens is, for me in one exam they have given question paper 5 minutes late. What can I do?
Yes.
I cannot fight them.
Yes.
Because it will ruin my mindset.
Yes.
So that's why it is. I think it's very.
And also we need to fill OMR,
right.
attendance sheet and everything. For that, keep 10 minutes buffer and solve it in 1 hour 50 minutes. What will happen is, even though if your 5 minutes is ruined, you will think that, oh, I have done it several times in the test series, I can do it here also. So one thing is handling the pressure, we can do it here, and also solving the difficult papers rather than solving only, not going behind the marks. Solving the difficult papers, solving the other test series papers, it will prepare our mind for these 2 hours. Then the third thing is, as we have discussed, PYQ, reverse engineering. It's one of the important do. We should have. I read it as the first priority.
It is the first priority.
As we have discussed, there will be many PYQs.
Yes.
Solve as much as PYQs possible. At least from 2013.
Just from there the pattern has changed.
Rather than solving any other test series, 100 questions of any other random test series, we can solve the questions which are set by the UPSC only.
Yes.
It will be very much helpful. There will be repeating questions.
And
For
also
example, I think 2025, Aragata question was there, no?
Yes.
It is a directly repeated question. I solved it within 5 to 10 seconds.
Yes, me too.
Uh,
We knew that it was a PYQ, and after just seeing the option itself, I have marked it with confidently.
There was a smile on me when I saw this question. Means it will also carry the boost or confidence for the next questions also. It will boost the confidence. That's why it's very much important to have a look at questions. And also apart from direct questions, there will also be many themes, topics.
Yes.
Like on monetary policy, inflation, we will get
Every year we will get the same themes.
In mapping also, river or anything, there will be many questions. That's why it's very much important to have a look at PYQ. And the fourth thing is test analysis.
This is the thing many people ask, how to do test analysis. We do the things, we do test, we will get some marks. How do you take it forward? How do you improve in the upcoming tests?
As means test series, we write a test, we solve it, we know the marks.
Yes.
That is the one thing. If we keep it apart, there are many things behind what we write test. One is analyzing the mistakes, because everyone will tell that we have to solve more tests. Without analyzing, solving test will be of no use. We know that.
Yes, we know that.
Because if we rather than solving 50 tests, it's better to have 15 to 20 tests with strong analysis. So analysis is very much important. How do we analyze? One is where am I doing mistakes? Because we have experienced a lot of times that we will not read the correct or not correct statement.
Silly mistakes. We call them as silly mistakes.
Silly mistakes. Where am I doing silly mistakes? How many silly mistakes am I doing? What are the unavoidable mistakes or avoidable mistakes I could have done? There will be some avoidable mistakes if we read properly or if we read twice. That is the one thing. Analyzing the mistakes and keeping the track of these things for every test. How am I? Is it improving? Means it's okay to have silly mistakes 15 or 20 in the first test, but that should not be the case for after 1 month or 1.5 months. So that is the main thing, analysis. The second thing is guesswork. guesswork. We know the difference. Means there is a blind guess and there is a intelligence guess. Intelligent guess means the transformation from blind guess to intelligence guess will go only after test analysis. Like, do I have any knowledge and then I guess, or is it just a blind guess? That is the main thing. How my guesswork is working. Means if my guesswork is getting me more negative marks, we can reduce it. If my guesses are more and my accuracy is more, I can improve on and continue the guesswork. So guesswork. Another thing is number of questions.
How much to attend?
How much to attend? Number of questions. As I believe that there are accurate candidates, accuracy oriented candidates, probability oriented candidates. Like they will solve around 70 to 75 questions.
I have seen a person who solves only 60 questions and yet qualifies. Yes.
And there will be candidates who solve 100 questions. They also qualify.
Yes.
So there are both the cases.
Both the candidates.
We have to find where do we lie. It's not necessary that we lie here or here. It's like a continuum as we study. We can fall anywhere beside this.
So I think we have to find our sweet spot number. Many people say, ask questions, how many to attempt, how many attempt. I cannot say I attempt 95 to 100 questions.
Same.
So I cannot say, it depends on the day itself. Sometimes many questions, many random questions may come, or new type of questions may come which you are not able to solve. So that at that time it might slightly reduce, but I would not recommend to reduce it drastically, because we have practiced we have found out that sweet spot by working out. That's why I want everybody to find out that sweet spot.
And another thing to add is knowledge check. As we have because we study, as you said earlier, that we have to apply the thing. That will be through this medium, test analysis. It will give us a knowledge reality check. And another last thing is time management, as we discussed earlier. Time management will help. Am I completing the paper in time? Because we tend to be a little flexible and we do it into 10 minutes, or doing 50 questions now and 50 questions afterwards. So we can avoid that and have a complete report test analysis.
And also with respect to time management, I would like to add how many rounds to solve. Many people say do it in the 3 rounds. Some people do it in the 2 rounds. So you can find out how many rounds will work out for you. For me it is 3 rounds. I will do it.
2 rounds.
Yes, for him it is 2 rounds. So we have to find out how many rounds you will do and how you will do. That is important by doing test analysis, right?
That is the main thing. And the fifth one, as we discussed, physical or mental.
Both.
Both. Totally help. Because as we sit for 10 to 12 hours, it's easily get a back pain or any other thing. And also mental health, as we discussed earlier, mental pressure, that fatigueness, physical fatigue, mental fatigueness, everything will be like, it will attack on all the sides. For that, one thing is we have to, as we get a good food, eat healthy, be healthy. What we see.
Healthy food.
Because we have heard many stories of our friends that having bad food in the last day, it will ruin the sleep as well as the day of exam. Another thing is sleep. Get a good sleep. Not only the day prior to exam, it's like
continuously.
At least this, what we are discussing for 2 days, 2 months, we have to have.
I suggest 6 to 7 hours minimum as per your requirement.
At least 7 hours.
7 hours. 7 hours is the very optimal sleep, because whatever we read, that should be in our brain, and brain works when we sleep. That's why we should get a very good sleep. That is, should be on a priority list.
And also there are many people like who read throughout the night and sleep, like night shift wala.
Yes, night shift wala bandas.
So I think what we suggest is shift that night shift into the day shift. Normal what we follow in a day, because UPSC conducts exam in daytime.
Yes, yes.
So we can't shift that drastically within a week or something. It's better to gradually shift that.
Yes, yes.
And have a normal cycle. It will help to study also to what we are discussing, like preparing that for 2 hours. Sleep is also very much important.
Yes.
And coming to don'ts. Don'ts. There are one or two don'ts which I want to tell. First one is sources. No new source.
Yes, no new sources. Stick on to what you have read
Yes.
all these days. Yes.
Because there will be many clickbaits in YouTube.
Yes. Clickbaits, PDFs, and lot of people suggesting you see this video, read this.
Summary of
Summaries. Yes.
compilations.
Compilations.
Like marathon videos.
Yeah.
If you I have seen many videos like if you don't watch this video you will lose 10 marks, 10 agriculture question marks, something like.
Yes.
Those are all clickbaits. If you want to see, you can see, but only after all the basic things.
Yes.
That can be seen as a extra additional thing, but not as a basic thing. Like
Yes.
for that I have to do something. One is click, and so many new sources, any new compilations, any new books. We should not touch any.
Yes.
Focus on our source. Focus on what all we have studied these things. So no new sources. Second is test series. Tests. Not going behind the marks.
Yes, it is very important because what many of the test series will do is they will set a very hard question paper and they will demotivate sometimes. Or else
we have experience.
Yes.
I think in 2023.
Yeah.
Prior to 10 or 15 days, we solved a test paper and
We got around 50
to
marks.
60 marks.
Yes.
Exam was 15 days after that test.
Yes.
So what I suggest is don't go
Should
beyond
never.
the
Yes.
marks. Only what we discussed that unless of the test series, mock test, don't worry about the marks because marks will vary very much. There is a wide range.
Yes.
For if you take my example, in that test I scored 65 or 55. Final marks was 109 in 2023.
There is a 45 marks gap.
In that 15 days I have changed nothing. I just focused on my source. I focused on analysis of the things. That's it. So marks will come in the final exam. So only focus should be on the test analysis.
And we have to touch the process which we are doing.
Yes.
So that is the important thing. We have to touch the process. I think we have to continue. Okay.
And the last thing is peer comparison. Because there are many current affairs sources of the particular institute, any institute, and they will set the question paper. By reading those materials, you will get a good marks. If you attempt other coaching tests, you will get low marks. There are many phenomena such that. So one thing is don't compare your marks with any other friend marks or anything. Only compare marks with yourself. Like we have to be better than yesterday.
Yes.
Am I improving? That is the only question.
Improving on a daily basis is important. Not comparing with others and how they are doing, what they are reading.
Only this question should be in our mind.
Yes.
Not that he or she is getting 120 marks, I am getting 60 marks. It will completely ruin the process, completely ruin that inner courage. So only thing is compare with yourself, analyze yourself.
Yes.
These are all the do's and don'ts I want to.
Yes, it is very important.
And we forward one more main
elephant in the room.
CSAT.
That is CSAT. So we will briefly discuss about how to go about the CSAT in these 60 days. As I have said, we will be doing daily 2 hours for the spending CSAT. What I will suggest you, divide all the CSAT topics. Like we have comprehension, we have numericals and reasoning. List down all the topics in the numericals and reasoning. Give them proper time with the dividing them into 50 days or the 40 days, first 2 cycles. So we will divide them and give the proper time. In CSAT, what I want you to focus is practice. This is the only formula which will work. Right? Only formula. You have to practice, practice and practice. Get exposure to various questions from different exams. Do solve it yourself and see how the institute is solving. You can use ChatGPT also. ChatGPT gives you various ways to solve the same question. So you just need to practice it. And the second thing is focus on understanding basics. Get your basics right. What are the basics? For example, we will have a permutation and combinations. So you need to understand the core concept of permutation and combination. For example, now IPL is starting. So a team must choose certain number of foreigners, certain number of batsmen, certain number of bowlers. So how they will choose? It is a problem of permutation and combination. So try to bring out the concepts into real life, then you will understand much more in a much more efficient way, so that your basics will be much clear. And also, if you are not clear in your basics, go to NCRTs of high school or see any YouTube video, get your basics right. And the third thing is practice PYQs. Obviously, like we discussed earlier, for GS, here also you need to practice all the PYQs. And for comprehension especially, what I would say is please follow official comprehensions like UPSC, and you can follow CAT, you can follow XAT, other official exams. Because many of the institutes, what they do is either they will do they'll set very complex comprehensions or very easy, which we cannot assess ourselves.
There are comprehensions of one page.
Yes. We have seen one of the institute has set up complete one page comprehension. So that is not the case with UPSC. So please do see comprehensions of the UPSC itself, not other things. And also last thing is discuss. What we used to do is we used to sit all of the friends and we used to take some time for a question. Let's say 1 minute for a question, and we used to solve that, be it comprehension or other numericals. Then we used to discuss how we are approaching that question. So that we'll get so many approaches to the same question.
Why did I make it wrong? Why did I make it right?
Yes. So many people see someone might have done wrong. He will tell why she has done that in that way and why it has gone wrong. So discussion with the peers, it should follow both in CSAT and also GS.
There will be many new ideas coming.
Yes.
We were a group of 8 members.
Yeah.
There will be 8 new ideas coming for a single question.
Single question, yes. That will be very much helpful. And lastly, flexibility. I've seen many people saying comprehension is my strength area. I will solve that. And many people saying that reasoning is my strength area. Many people say, very less people say numericals is my strength area.
I am the victim of it in 2022.
Yes.
I believe
Same
only
story.
in numericals. The very third numerical I got stuck. It was around 2 people are thinking around or something. I was very much emotionally attached with that. Why I have read everything, I have done numericals, why am I not getting it right? That is where I failed 2022. So I stuck in that question. In CSAT we know time management is very important. I never practiced single comprehension till that day, till that second attempt prelims. I never practiced. I believed only in numericals and part of reasoning. That day I got to know that it's not like this. We have to manage everything.
So in CSAT, flexibility between these 3 areas is very important. Get ready to all the 3 things, because you don't know which one is easy, which one is tough in the exam. That's why flexibility is important. And lastly, do sufficient number of tests. That is for the practice, especially for time management. Because what happens is many people will be stuck in one question, like our friend said, and also we don't know how much time to give for comprehension and other things. That's why test is very important. Solve sufficient number of tests. Don't take the marks of the tests out of it, because sometimes institute tests are very easy, sometimes they are very tough. You can't directly assess it, but by seeing PYQs and solving them, you can definitely get through the CSAT. CSAT is like understanding the core concept of these 3 things. Just follow these 3 things and what we have set for the 60-day strategy. And one thing I would like to add, make your own strategy by keeping 1 or 2 days or less
just a broad framework.
It's a framework, yes.
It's just an guideline that what should be included, what should we do,
yes,
what
yes,
should
yes.
not do. That is.
So make your own strategy and all the best.
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. All the best.